Hello, hello, welcome back, y'all. This is Six Dynamo, and today we're playing some Dwarf Fortress. A bit different than the last two videos. We played some Warband and Bannerlord, but this is another game I like to play, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. Now, we're going to go ahead and start. This is a 150 some odd year old world with a lot higher volatility as far as monsters and titans and goons like that. And so, even at 150 years, actually have a very much thriving civilization of dwarves, but we're not going to mess with them. We're going to head up to one of these corners of the map and try and pick with the little guys. It's going to be our starting civilization, and we're going to move in. I've had a couple forts down in this direction, but none of which have been quite what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and try again and bring you guys along with me. Let's go and start here. And I'll go ahead and with my custom loadout, that's fine. I don't need that. And whoa, what's going on there? They all got their helmets on. They all got some like caps. How cool is that? No way. Okay, we're just bringing an iron pick and a couple spears along with some bronze armor because we're in a lots of seeds, lots of other stuff. Nothing else besides that because it's very easy to make everything else. Go ahead and start with the fortress name. What are we thinking? Paint Wandered, Ring Top, Pulp Treaties, Crowded Board, Rip Wine, Class Takers, Woke. Gorge Fortresses. I like that one. We're going to be gorging ourselves in the blood of our enemies. 90 points. I don't need that. We're golden. Here we are. Ready to delve secure lodgings for our 7 starting dwarves here. So I zoom in, we can take a look at who we got. Who's our expedition leader? Einod Ceiling Snakes. Disdains self-control, avoids fights, disdains cooperation. Wow. Well, she doesn't seem like quite the best choice. Maybe she is the best choice out of this 7 dwarves. These 7 dwarves. I don't think so. We've got a good memory. She's wasteful, vengeful, clumsy, developed empathy. Nobody too crazy here, but that's okay. We're gonna take care of them all the same. Little map we got. Carve ourselves out a little home. Lots of great noises we got going on in the background. As we have 5 giant gray parrots, giant African grays floating around in our skies above us. We're probably going to want to quickly dig down underneath, at least into the side of this mountain, so we don't have to worry about them coming down and taking us out. I'm going to go ahead and have one of whoever has the pickaxe to get immediately on that. Bit dangerous situation we find ourselves in. Now, I will have them carve out an area for us to trade in, but for now I'm just going to have them dig straight down until we find some rock. You don't have to dig that. I'll say starting here, dig down 10 spaces. Phew. Here we go. We're already hitting rock. I'm gonna go ahead and stop them here, and we'll start caving out a little bit of a hall for ourselves. We'll head down. Meanwhile, we've got somewhat of a disgusting little plan going on here. I'm just kind of I'm trying to keep it simple at the moment so they don't dig off too much. So I may just chop that off for now, then we'll worry about everything else later. But for now, I just want everybody to come up underground here. Well, that's not quite what they're doing. What I could do, actually, is go ahead and set up our militia commander as somebody. One of the 2 peasants are going to be the 2 people I have with some training, so that's what I'm going to do. Create a new squad with metal armor. And assign the 2nd position to our proficient spear dwarf. And then what I'll have is these guys set to train. So they'll go equip all their armor that they need. And I will put a training or a barracks just right in the doorway so they're not out in the rain. Set it to them so they'll just go grab their armor and gear. Their armor and spear, and then head right in here and go ahead and start training. And if they see some bad situations going on outside, they'll come right out and help. Hopefully, at least. We've got our good miner down here. Working on our first bit of dorm. I shouldn't say dorms. Our first rooms. Starting right off, carving that stuff out of rock. Meanwhile, everybody else up top. I only have one pickaxe right now, so I don't. Maybe I should have brought an extra. But whatever. I'll start working on a little bit of industry because not too long from now we're gonna have some. Or we're gonna be needing to build a couple things. Actually, so let me. I'm trying not to place any workbenches, I should say, out on the surface. So I'm just gonna get wooden door and table, which is all I need for our first room here. So that way I can assign a manager and have them make things a little quicker. Somebody will get on that. Actually, I went and said the wrong thing. It's actually a chair you need, not a table. I forget what exactly tables, but I'm sure our manager will like having an extra table in their room where they approve all of our work orders. So there's that. I'll go get the table built and set this as an office. So, and then assign it to somebody. I'll go ahead and say that our expedition leader is going to be the person in charge of being the manager for now. Also, but that's it for now. Just manager. We want to keep the manager and broker and bookkeeper as different people generally. At least the manager different than the broker and bookkeeper. The broker and bookkeeper can be the same person. But now that we have a manager, we can open up their work orders tab down here and then designate things to be made, such as tables. I'm gonna head down to the wooden table. We need to make 10 of those. Chairs. 10 of those. And we'll get some doors going. Make some doors. And then what I will do actually is go ahead and create another carpenter's bench out here because we have a lot of dwarves just doing nothing at the moment. It's not a whole lot for us to do. I may actually even go ahead and create a stockpile zone out here specifically for wood so people come and bring it a little closer, even though it's already just in the surrounding area. If nobody's doing anything, they can just go gather some. Pretty soon here, our expedition leader and manager, Inod, will come down after she's done felling this tree and approve some of those work orders that we have. Although maybe we should set somebody else to be the expedition, or at least not the expedition leader, but the woodcutter. I'm gonna have our metalsmith become the woodcutter, so that way Inod gets a little less distracted with things that she has to do. Now, one thing to address when you're first starting out a fortress is your food and your water. Now, we're not really at the place where I can head down and create any room or any workshops to address that quite yet, but I will go ahead and open that up for our miner to get down and get to work. Go ahead and crack open this how I was going and how I first intended on making it. But what I'll do is really compartmentalize what we're working on and what is first priority. But we have generally when you start out, you have a decent amount of food with you, and with 7 dwarves, you don't really have to worry about it quite right away. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. Our two dwarves here are making quick work of all this order of doors, tables, and chairs. We're not quite finished with it, so I'm not going to go ahead and I'll wait for these to be done before I continue designating these all as bedrooms. I actually forgot to go and get beds. We need beds, lots of beds. I'm actually going to designate about 20 of those because we'll make more bedrooms here in a bit. And who is our miner? He should be mining. I'm going to go ahead and just designate it so you can only mine. That's their only job for now. How are these guys doing? They're not sparring. I'm surprised. I assume that's because they are not quite high enough in skill to spar, but they are proficient, so that is surprising. Got little birds flying around outside, little parakeets. That's cute. You got lots of wooden logs lined up for us to use, and what you can do is go out and harvest some food out here that we'll be able to use in a little while once we get some stockpiles up and running. With that new update, including the different mining speed, and it's dependent on the pick quality and is not just the skill of the dwarves. It's very interesting to see how slow we're picking this away. It does affect the way, or at least the way you start out. But we got our miner here, a talented miner who's very slowly digging away at our workbench area. She'll get that finished here in a bit. What we can do is, if you're our livestock, which I don't plan on keeping for all that long, but for now, just so they don't wander off, I will go ahead and set them to a pasture over yonder. Not too far yonder, though. And keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't get up to any funny business. A monkey. Whoa. That's a... How interesting. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and set up a couple crafts benches, too. At least just one on the surface. And then what we can do is... Check that guy out. He's a tamarin. How cool is that? There he is again. I guess he's just a pest. At least designated by the game as a pest and not so... How interesting. Yeah. Because we can't see him as one of the creatures on the map. So he'll probably run away with valuable items of ours if we don't get them into our fort quick enough. And I bet our doors are all finished, so what I'll do is go ahead and get these doors all placed down, and I can create some bedrooms for our people. And then once you get that, you can go up and do bedrooms and paint them. Get 7 bedrooms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everyone will have a place to sleep. Oh, look at all these creepy crawlers. Wow, what are they doing on the surface? Usually only see those down in the mines. Wow, interesting. They're all over. This is a really heebie-jeebies kind of place. Can have somebody come create a trade depot up in here. Really a bit hindered by our lack of pickaxes here. Our movement is very slow, especially moving at nearly 200 frames here, twice normal speed. Back to you when something interesting happens. As we're sitting here mining about, I notice here on our map that or at least on our notifications here, looks like our miner has gotten to a little bit of a kerfuffle with a falling tree. Although it seems she's okay, as in here. And also, looks like we have some wildlife, some parakeet men and women flying throughout the trees. They don't seem to be hostile, but it's very interesting to see them making their way about through the forest. I guess they're one of the local residents. I would assume that they really are going all about. I assume that they are intelligent. They're just a person with the head and wings of a parakeet. How interesting. I wonder if there's any way I can recruit them to my fortress, or maybe I can trap them. I know I can trap them, I just don't think I can tame them. We'll have to see. We have most of our beginning fortress here mined out. I'll go ahead and designate these last couple rooms to be worked on now that he's finishing our first area where we will get to move most of our crafts down into. I'll have a couple workbenches for crafts because most likely that's going to be our first little bit of industry that we're going to work on. We're going to a mechanics bench because that's important for a lot of different things that we're going to be doing. Interesting, fun things. And then probably a stoneworker's bench if I haven't placed one of those down already. A bowyer's. And let's see. What else? Let's go and delete some of these old. I always let these kind of get a bit out of hand. Alright, I'll let him just build those and then I'll double check. Jeweler, that's what I was thinking. We're gonna get some jewels here a bit soon. Then what I can do is probably dig down just in the center here. Then come out. And then all around here I'm going to place various stockpiles. That'll be nice. That'll be good. What I may do up here on the... Actually, I could just go to place a door right here. That way I can lock it if need be. I don't believe we have any other interesting things running around except these parakeet people. I'm not complaining. Rather have parakeet people than giant angry African greys. They'll come down and eat us. One glaring detail that's different between, if you've ever played RimWorld, or even if you've ever heard of either of these two games, RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress, I imagine if you're watching the video, you probably have heard of the two. But it's quality of life. Like the big thing is quality of life. And many of the things that you can get with RimWorld is not quite the same, or it's just different when it comes to Dwarf Fortress. So one useful thing you can do if you're a little daunted by the change, I should say, in this kind of game, if you're going from like Dwarf Fortress from RimWorld, is to go ahead and download the DF hack. It's like a Steam add-on. If you search it up in Steam, it'll pop up. That you get a lot of options that help out, mining options, and you can save, like, I can head up into work orders and I can import and export like conditions, so I can things that we will be working on is like barrels, wooden barrels, and bins. And with these, generally we'll set some conditions, like if we have less than 10 bins, we'll craft 10 new ones. And if the cool thing about this guy here is that we can, since I'm making a little save here, I'll go ahead and do a couple other things that I can think of off the top of my head. Probably 5-ish meal. Kind of got my microphone in a weird place, so it's very much in the way because I don't have a boom arm right now. I think I'm gonna order one maybe, but it's very much in the way, so I can't really type quick, but I can do it. I'm gonna designate prepared meals, and then we're going to designate brew drinks, plants. Drinks are less than 250. Then we will brew drinks, we'll brew plants, and these are all things that our dwarves and our manager will do automatically, so we don't have to. We can make sure we always have bins, we always have barrels, we always have meals. What I'll actually do is do wooden blocks as well, and as long as this is less than, say, 200, they'll go ahead and make some wooden blocks. And you can even go further into it and say, oh, I want it out of a certain kind of wood. I'm not going to do that quite yet, although I probably should. What's a common type of wood out here that I like? Nah, whatever, I don't care. But they'll work on these, although they won't be able to do much except for work on the barrels and bins because they don't have the infrastructure for the rest of it right now, as in the workbenches. But you'll see. Stuff like that is what I believe makes Dwarf Fortress a little. I mean, the game itself is going to be playable, but it makes it a little bit more enjoyable when you can import and export different stuff like this. Not that I really do this all that much in RimWorld, because RimWorld doesn't quite have the same. I can show you. I'll go back into editing and I'll show you examples of kind of what I'm talking about. RimWorld doesn't really have the same like manager work orders tab. At least not the way I'd use it. That this does, but whether even you understand what I'm saying at all, and I'm just rambling on like a madman. I'll show you better later. Doing that. As I ramble, I see we have a cassowary that has entered our map, making its way along. We get ourselves a hunter, then they will be able to come and take him out for us and get us some nice leather and some meat. I believe what I will do is I will go ahead and designate a room for butchering and tanning. The butchering and tanning room is going to be important because it's good to have an airlock when you're messing with that kind of stuff. You don't want that to be getting your dwarves sick, or at least upsetting them. What I'll do is I'll have this come down and I'll have an airlock here. Probably have it like that. And then I'll stretch this out. The door here. And this can be a little food stockpile across the way, and it can be attached by the bottom. We'll have a food stockpile here. We'll have an airlocked area for butchering and tanning. It's important that we do that. It's already working on down there. Very nice. What I should go ahead and do is get some mechanisms, some rock mechanisms. So we're going to need those for lots of different things. If it's less than 10, then we have less than 10 rock mechanisms. It'll go ahead and make 10 more. So that I should also do the same with doors, but I'm not going to right now because I don't have all that much stockpile room, and I don't want everything to just pile up. Construct quartz, our first gems. Awesome. We'll go and get those carved up right away. As soon as we get to mining it. And I stop drinking my drink.
Are you joking?
What? Oh, we're trying to go find ourselves our first cavern here. Sending our miner Urist down into the depths. And oh boy, we really just dug right into one, didn't we? Check that out. What happened here? It's a lot of bodies. That's a little intimidating. I'm glad we found it that easily. I'm gonna go and cancel the rest of the mining. And what I will do is send our men who've been training down into the mine. Little duo. Because I don't know what's down here. And judging by all the corpses, I'm not Some troglodyte bodies. Not too excited to watch our group of bat people come through and take everyone out. Like an elk bird. It's very open though. I'm glad to see we have an open cavern down here. And looks like we struck some limonite too, which is the ore of iron. That's nice. Okay. Bat person. There we go. I don't know if they're hostile or not. I'm gonna go and send our guys up here to... Looks like they're not immediately hostile, so that's good. I don't like them around, but I'm not gonna worry about them right away. It's got a silver spear. Bronze spear, okay. It's very interesting. Now that we're down in the first cavern layer, we're going to want to start mining out a little bit. Or at least getting our or at least getting some farming going down here. That's important. But what I will do is I will wait. I'm going to head into mining, and I'm going to go to click this little arrow to go to the events and go to auto. And I'm going to have one of our guys come out here and automatically mine out some of this ore here. And we're going to come back through and smelt some of it so we can make some more pickaxes and axes and other things of the nature. Very interesting. Usually these guys are hostile, so I don't know if I'm all that too keen on leaving our guys down here unprotected mining. What I'll probably do is head up a little bit and set up a stockpile down in our, just a temporary stockpile on our floor right over here with the intent of putting valuable stone here, metal ore and that kind. And what I actually will also do is I'm going to temporarily create ourselves sort of a forge. Not a magma forge, I just want a regular metalsmith. And what I can do also is designate some wheelbarrows. Make 10 of them, sure. And using the wheelbarrows, we won't worry about these guys hauling stone up and down. It'll make it a little easier on them. And I can select the stone stockpile. I can head up to how many barrels, this little thing around my cursor. And I can designate 5 wheelbarrows. So anybody going to mine down will go grab a wheelbarrow first, and they'll use that to haul up the stone. And what I will do here in the wood furnace is I'm going to go ahead and create a local work order to make charcoal, which we will need. And if we have less than, say, 50 charcoal, we'll create 10 more. And with this smelter, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to do anything yet because we don't have any charcoal, but I'm not going to set a reoccurring work order like that. With the smelter, what I'll do is I'll just select limonite and then put it on repeat. So when we run out of limonite, it'll stop trying to recreate the order. And for the metalsmith forge, when we get there, we'll start making some stuff. There's a giant rat running around our fort. You gotta be kidding me. Well, he's running right into no good business. Slow down time quite a bit and see if we can watch this unfold. Oh, that was quick. Where'd the rat go? Whoa. How did it make it all the way down there? Alright. They're heading right down for the thing. Well, he's running off. I'm not going to worry about him for now. I'll go and set these guys off their orders for now. We'll head back to their combat drills. I'll speed back up time a bit. Head back to the surface and... You know what I should see? Now they've all got these wheelbarrows and they're collecting stuff that way. It's a lot quicker and easier. Giant rat stole 4 of our plump helmets. That little skeeving... Alright, that's it. Is he still around? He's not. He's gone. These are now hostile, so I think we should send our guys down here to take them out. I'm gonna do that. It shouldn't be a problem for them. I think they're pretty well equipped at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. But they made quick work of them. So have them just make their rounds and try and take out as many of these bat people as we can. Here he comes. Oh, they're chasing him. He took flight. I don't really know where the bat person went. I guess they wandered off, but it shouldn't be. It's a little scary, but I think we'll be okay. Now that we've got a lot of charcoal up in the works, I'll go ahead and designate limonite ore to be smelted. I'll just set that on repeat, so when we run out of the ore, we'll stop. And I will go ahead and someone come and smell that. Some ore being smelted. And now that we've got some iron, I can head into here and get some stuff going. We'll get a couple pickaxes. And then we'll go from there. But I think that is a good end for this episode. We've gone from a little caravan on the surface to the start of a very hopefully prosperous fort. And so thanks for following along. And if you made it to the end, thank you very much. And I'll see you next time.